I'm going to put a cynic's hat on and say, with that in mind, given that everything you do is self-driven and insular, the outward expression of progress that you've had over the years, measured in cars, travel, watches, whatever it's been. I know Tom's still very much in that world.
Yes.
Have you ever found yourself craving or wanting gratification from other people for having those things, or has it always simply been for marketing purposes? Or have you ever had to call yourself out for thinking I may be doing these things for the wrong reasons, rather than using material goods as a measure of my own success?
No, so I've genuinely never been in a position where I feel like I need to make other people validate me or my achievements. It's always come from my own internal perception of what I want to achieve. Granted, maybe there's components of that is influenced by what I see, but I would say most of it came from being that high way before the days of social media or before I had a phone, of what I felt was achievement. And for me, it was a nice car, a nice house. So that was installed in me way before I could be influenced by Instagram, way before I even had it. And equally, I don't get any gratification about other people's perception of what I've achieved. Gratification is to meet someone and them say, thank you so much for that advice, or thank you for that piece of advice that you gave me for Instagram, or thank you for that training program, I've lost 20 kilos, saved my life, whatever it happens to be. That's fulfillment to me. Them liking the Lamborghini, fine, okay, or whatever car it was, fine. It's nice to have a compliment, of course it is, and no one in this room would say, oh, I hate getting compliments. Okay, that's nice, but I don't go to the gym to look good for someone else to tell me I look good. I go to the gym to make my mind better, my body better, see what I'm physically capable of. Yes, my goal is predominantly aesthetic, but see what I can achieve from an aesthetic perspective. And that's not driven by other people's wants or needs. No way.
And that all feeds back into essentially having measurable milestones for the things that intrinsically excite you. So for me, I'm not as driven aesthetically. I tried it once and it was a bit damaging for me mentally.
Yes.
I found myself at 7.5% body fat, thick skin, and I was looking in the mirror thinking, you're a fat bastard.
Yeah, that's wild.
And I was consulting with friends who were like, why the fuck are you showing me a picture of you doing a side chest in our school gym? We don't care. And I'm like, oh, interesting. That's strange. I really do care.
I thought you did care. Yeah. Where did I miss the memo?
Hang on.
Sure, we don't want to see it again.
So for me, performance metrics and sort of taking things off as I go and going through that process of fear to then hopefully see these things through, that's kind of my measurement. But the trap I found myself in is these big peaks and troughs, which means it's a very difficult thing to manage coming out the back end. But that's where, on a day-to-day basis, the measurement of growth in the businesses and the team and everything that's going on is a great way of keeping me stable, so that whilst everything is outwardly presented, what I want to achieve through doing, let's use the 250 kilometer run as an example, is I want to create a bit of media that brings people along the journey as if they were there with me, so that they can wake up and think, fucking hell, I might run to the lamppost at the end of my road tomorrow morning. And if they can then go on the journey that I've gone on from a performance metric and self-development point of view, buzzing.
I agree.
Buzzing. So it's not, I wouldn't measure my own success based on the impact it has on other people, but the impact that it can have on other people is very gratifying when it does happen. So it's a bonus.
So, yeah,
it's a bonus is the way that I view it. I think that's the way I'd view it. So it's interesting because I was thinking about it as you were saying there, because it's you can often start going down a path without really realizing that you need to call yourself out. But
a lot of people do say, I find it inspiring, whether it's the training, whether it's the cars, whether it's the achievements, the milestones, and that's more, for me, more fulfilling than a compliment about the piece of metal itself.
Yeah,
if that makes sense, because I've actually given someone some value that they can then take a piece of that and enhance their own life, and that's way more fulfilling, no doubt about it. And let's face it as well, with social media, there's an element, like you rightly say, I'm not doing it for other people's validation, but I am partially doing it as a commercial tool. That, to stereotype young men, I'm sure you take no offense, you're more likely to aspire to be a young man who seems to be successful, physically fit. Okay, some people don't care about any of that stuff. That's absolutely fine. I'm not saying there's a problem with it, but I'm just saying, in terms of from a marketing perspective, is it more compelling and appealing to be a gentleman in that category who then pulls like-minded men in who can then uplift themselves? Are they more likely to buy into you? Or if you kept everything offline that you ever did of any success, any worth, or anything interesting, it's going to detriment your profile. It's going to detriment your ability to scale a business 100%. So you have to include it. It's a necessary evil, but that's not what I'm going out doing to get people saying, oh, well done, I couldn't care less.
Yeah, I think if the core message that the at the center of that is for the right reasons, then that's the key. But there's a lot of people doing the right things for the wrong reasons, which I ultimately think you'll hit an ego ceiling when you think, right, I need to look at this, like I did with being jacked once. I thought, this is not what I thought it would be.
Yeah.
and
I'm more on, since like training wise, nothing to your level, but the performance side of things where I am a little bit bored of the aesthetic side. So I'm into my cycling, and even if it's just seeing what I do on an FTP test, to me, it's just something to even just track my own progress rather than just seeing something that's visual, just to have some other data, some other metrics to go, okay, fine, as a trend, as a theme, I am putting in this work and I'm getting a reward objectively on a piece of paper or on a clock or whatever it happens to be, but I can see progress. And I'm also learning a new skill set or getting stronger in a different discipline. And that is really rewarding. And I'm doing more and more of that at the moment, sort of foraging into little bits of CrossFit or like high rocks type training. I don't want to be a CrossFit, I don't want to be a high rocks person, but if I can go to an event or get into cycling and smash people that are cyclists, that's a massive achievement for me, because I couldn't care less if I lose. I'm not a cyclist. It's not my jam. I don't say I'm a cyclist. I wear the Lycra. That's all we've got in common. But if I can rock up to something with people that devote their life to it, and I've put my life into cycling, well, a side part of my life, and smash it, that's so rewarding for me.
Yep.
Really rewarding. It makes me realise I'm not just a gym moron.
People want to know now, what's your FTP?
FTP was 289.
Nice.
And I was 73 kg.
Very nice.
74 kg.
Yeah, so we're 3.8,
something like that.
Yeah. That's not knocking on the door of 4.
I'm going to get trolled in the YouTube comments. I know I am, but I'm not saying I'm Bradley Wiggins. I'm just saying
but you
don't profess to be a cyclist.
And
in a short time, I got
key detail. Fuck me, there is nothing harder to grow through graft and effort than your FTP.
Yeah.
It is a very humbling metric.
I was holding 204 heart rate for about 2.5 minutes, and the guy conducting the test, like snot going everywhere, just like, when you push yourself, and then probably like there's a point at which I don't know this man, he doesn't know me, and he had to ask the question, are you okay?
I'm worried. My public
die.
liability doesn't cover this. This is bad. Yeah.
And I'd gone with a group of guys, and a nice competition, but you know what group of guys are like. You pretend you're not bothered, you're seriously bothered, and it's just an absolute ego fest. So I was like, I need to do this, even if I die. And I saw 204 on the screen. I thought, I actually think that if no one else was around, I would consult a cardiologist. I don't think I'm well. This actually doesn't feel right, but I'm here now, so I'm gonna get it done. But anyway, yeah.
No, it's I've knocked on that door a few times. It always leaves you a little bit like,
when you stop and you're lying on the floor and you think, I've never had a heart attack, but it's 50-50. This could be one. And I don't know if I tap out, I'm having a stroke. I don't know what's going on, but it's not good. But yeah.
And then you sit there feeling like an idiot. It's like, this is self-inflicted. This is entirely self-inflicted.
And it's all for nothing, really, because no one actually genuinely cares.
It's one of Johnny and I, my business partner with Omnia's biggest mantras is no one cares.
Yeah, no one cares.
No one cares. If you're not doing things, a huge component, one of our core values at Omnia is be your own hero.
Yeah.
And that's a huge driving factor for us, whereby we don't draw inspiration from, we draw insights and knowledge and things that we can work on from other people, but we don't look to anyone as the pinnacle of what we want to be. We look at ourselves as a future version as to what we want to be. So what's the roadmap to get there? And that, from an ego point of view, has been really, really valuable for us in the sort of 5-6 years that we've been working together, to just make sure that we're both aligned. He's much older than me. He's got 4 kids, so it's really important for him, so that he's a good husband, he's a good father, that he's doing things for the right reasons. And I mean, by myself recently, the past 2 years, there's been a lot of periods where I'm kind of attached. You're a triathlete, you should be doing this, even though I'm not enjoying it, and then I'm doing it for the wrong reasons, and I find myself suffering a little bit. So I think it all feeds into the same thing, which is do the right things for the right reasons for you, not for anyone else.
Yeah, what ticks your box? And no one can tell you that better than yourself.